And I'd like to welcome you all to our advanced tech training for today. We'll be covering Wi-Fi and cellular data resources, okay? The WildTech DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information, any applications or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thanks so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you cannot see me, hear me, or see the screen, please let me know in the chat. I always recommend screenshots, especially today, notes to review for later on. And as always, let's make sure to keep our TVs and cell phones in mind to give others and ourselves the most immersive experience. If you have a question, a comment, concern, anything that you would like to share, either during and or at the end of the session, whenever we have our Zoom sessions, I ask that you use the raise hand feature. If your toolbar is at the top, you can hit more and then tap on raise hand. Or if your toolbar is here at the bottom, you tap on reactions and then tap on raise hand. So can I get everyone in Zoom to please raise their hand? If you're here, if you're ready to learn about some resources, again, more about our program, what's going on, if you had a great weekend, if you're having a happy Monday, if you're wishing everyone else a wonderful week, a fun week, safe week, all that good stuff, please raise your hand in Zoom. Again, if you ever have a question, comment, concern, anything you'd like to share, you raise your hand in Zoom, okay? Thank you. I see we have about 18 hands. I love it. And if you ever have a question, comment, concern, you know, today, especially as well, please raise your hand. Okay, wow. We're at 22 hands. I really love it. Thank you so much for your participation, you all. Again, now you all can hit lower at the bottom to lower your hand. Thank you so much. Don't forget to lower your hand and don't forget to mute yourself afterwards. So that way, again, everyone's able to hear and understand each other. So don't forget to raise your hand. Then we ask you to unmute. You unmute. You ask. We answer. And then don't forget to lower your hand and mute yourself afterwards. Okay. And if you want to communicate with others non-verbally, the chat is a great way to share a greeting, ask a question, send a photo, send your congrats, many different things that you can do. You can hit more at the top right and then tap on chat. Or if your toolbar is at the bottom, you will simply just tap on chat and then the meeting chat window will come up. So if I go to my Zoom app, excuse me, and then I tap on chat right here, this is the meeting chat window. It says tap here to chat. And then I type my message in. So I'm going to write hello. I'm going to find some emojis. So maybe here's some education emojis. And here's some tech emojis because today is Education Technology Day. So if you all could share a simple hello, how are you doing? Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Even anything, you could share it in the chat. You can even send a photo in the chat as Miss Rosemary has done. Love it. Welcome, Fall. I love that picture. I can hold the image and then hit save image to save that image to my Photos app. If I want to send a photo, I can hit the plus sign right here next to tap here to chat, and then I can hit photo and add any photo from my Photos app. So I was watching a video the other day and from a YouTube channel that I like. So here's a fufu and stew recipe. So that was the winning one from that particular episode. So again, I just took a screenshot of it. So now you have your own recipe that you can take advantage of. So you can really share any photo, you know, many different kinds of things. So here's another photo. Again, you can send just one or you can send multiple ones at one time. So this one, yeah, done and send, you know? Again, you can hold anyone's message, whether that's an image or text, I can reply to it. So this message, I can send a heart as a reply. It even says one reply. And then if I hold this message right here, I can send a reaction by hitting an emoji at the bottom right here, or I can hit these three dots and add any emoji as a reaction, okay? So I love it. Hello Monday, good morning. Hello everyone. Yep, I love this. Yep, beautiful morning. I know that's right. I love this picture as well. I love all the pictures that you all sent today. So I'm gonna save each of them. Good morning. Yep, let's have a great day. Have a blessed, good week. And I don't have a slide for it today, but if you could share again what session you're looking forward to or sessions you're looking forward to this week. Murray Center is always interesting. Channel in. I can't wait for tomorrow as well. Our announcement today, it's great to be able to be aware of what's going on. And of course, our modules, so that way you can share what other iPad things you want us to go over, okay? Yep. So let's have a great day. And again, if you could share what sessions you're looking forward to this week and why, I'd really appreciate that as well. So today, again, keeping it pretty simple today, we're gonna go over some history and like what exactly is Wi-Fi and cellular data. We're gonna go over some Wi-Fi and cellular apps and information amongst some other things. So this kind of like a hodgepodge of information. And I'll be answering any questions that you all may have. I don't have any particular questions for you all, but this is the time to ask any questions about anything that we talk about today. And etc. Okay, so first up is just some information. So history of Wi-Fi. So I have a video for us to watch. So I hope you enjoy. Again, just some information that I thought would be interesting. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video on the history of Wi-Fi, and I hope you enjoy and learn something new.
How does Wi-Fi even work? If you go back to the 1500s, and give a few people access to the internet, it wouldn't transform their society, it would just start a witch hunt. And that's because Wi-Fi is the closest thing we have to actual magic. It's invisible, you can't touch it, you can't smell it, yet you're watching this video using Wi-Fi. What kind of sorcery is being used to send a video from the YouTube servers to your phone? Let's go back in time to the 1960s, which is way before I was born. Some smart guy in Hawaii University was like, cables? Bad. Back then, all information was transferred through wires, so it was very messy. Those guys decided that they'd had enough of cable management, and then went on to draw up the biggest invention of the 20th century. The first Wi-Fi prototype. They were like, if sound travels from radio stations to radios, why can't we do the same thing with text, images and videos? And radio waves was their answer. Radio waves are a form of light. But it's not visible light. That's because the human eye can only see this part of the light spectrum. Radio waves are here. So I guess you could say that we're all partially blind. Those Hawaiian scientists managed to transfer information between two computers wirelessly. But this was just the first attempt. And like with all first attempts, mistakes were made. One problem was data loss. Imagine sending your friend a meme and then it vanishes on its way to his phone. That would be really bad, because what's the point of Wi-Fi if it's unreliable? And so for the next 20 years, many smart people came together and worked out how to fix those problems. The first solutions were not the best. They made it so images would line up and be sent one by one, which was very slow. Nowadays, Wi-Fi networks have multiple access points, which is basically like multiple empty roads, so you can send all the memes you want at the same time. So radio waves actually have different properties like the amplitude, which measures how high the radio wave is. And by that, I mean the actual height. And so, Wi-Fi needed some common language to use when interpreting radio waves. Otherwise, when you send a message to your crush, she'll get the completely wrong text. Somehow, every human being involved agreed to use one standard. One way of turning information into radio waves, and radio waves into information. And so, in the 1980s, we finally made Wi-Fi work. Well, almost. There was still one major problem. That's right, walls were the only enemy left to this new technology. And that's because radio waves bounce off walls, causing echo, kinda like when you scream in a very big room. So how was data meant to travel all around the world when it couldn't even travel to the next room without distortions? Okay, here is where we get into some spicy lawsuits. Around the same time that people in the United States were making Wi-Fi, An Australian dude was working on something as well. This guy's name is John O something. John was an astrophysicist and he was using radio waves to search for black holes, so he knew a lot about them. He took all that knowledge and created a method that reduces the echo that they make. So essentially, they could travel through walls without being distorted too much. But you see, this guy didn't actually invent anything new. He just used different methods created in the 1950s and combined them. So when the Wi-Fi companies decided to do the same thing, they got sued because John had already filed a patent for his invention. As of today, companies have paid John's employer about $500 million for using his method. But at least now we have Wi-Fi that can send information around the world, right? Wrong. Only tech nerds could use Wi-Fi back then. That's because there were no internet browsers, no YouTube, no Netflix, no www. Or anything like that. So some British guy called Tim was like, "Oi, this Wi-Fi thing is missing something in it." And so he created the World Wide Web, which is basically a common method for sending, displaying and receiving data using Wi-Fi. And here's the good part, Tim made his invention free. So thanks to him, we now have websites like YouTube. We can send stuff using the internet and we can download stuff. But over time, people became addicted to it. And so, in 2018, we decided to make it worse by making the internet even faster. And how do you upgrade something? You just add one onto it. Introducing 5G. The truth is, 5G isn't anything new. It was actually created at the same time as 4G Wi-Fi, back in the 1980s. But back then, we didn't need high internet speeds, so we just stuck to 4G. So yeah, now you know how Wi-Fi works. Simple, right? Subscribe.
Yep, so again, that was just a general video on the history of Wi-Fi. I hope you learned something new and how it came to be. Our last video, again, just talking about cellular data versus Wi-Fi. So the differences between the two. This video is a few years old, so some things may be a little bit outdated, but they have the general idea packed down. So again, Wi-Fi versus cellular data.
Hey guys, Sam here from Technology, and today we're taking a look at the differences in two different ways you can get connected with your device. On one hand, we've got mobile data or cellular data, and then on the other hand, we've got Wi-Fi. What are the main differences and which one's right for you? Introduced in 1998, Wi-Fi provides a short-range connectivity across your house to connect personal devices such as iPads, iPhones, Kindles, laptops, tablets, TVs even. The list goes on and on. Lots of devices connect via Wi-Fi. It has a 30-meter range, so from the point of your Wi-Fi router, which I'll go into in further depth later on in this video, it extends about 30 meters out until your connection starts dropping out or you start losing speed. It's provided generally by your home internet provider, which is the same person that traditionally would have provided your home phone provider. And it comes in through a cable through the street, into your house, and into a central point where your Wi-Fi router is to distribute the Wi-Fi across a 30-meter radius from that point across your house. So on the other hand, you've got mobile and cellular data, which can also be referred to as 4G, 3G, LTE. All these technologies basically mean the same thing, and that's how you can connect to the internet or send text messages or send phone calls from more than 30 meters away from that Wi-Fi router. So for example, when you leave the house and go to the shops or anything like that, you're able to connect to this network using pretty much any device that has a SIM card. So an iPad with a SIM card, obviously phones, and even some laptops have SIM cards trays in them. And these services are provided by the same people who give you your mobile phone number. So let's look at the differences. Think about your data usage as like a cup of water. So every time you scroll through Instagram or read a news article, that cup of water slowly fills up some more. When you watch a video or something with a lot of moving images, that cup fills up more quicker. And then when you read something, let's say a news article that's just text, it'll fill up slower. This fills up more and more and more until you hit the top of the cup, which is your mobile data limit, and that's generally measured in gigabytes. With your mobile data connection, and remember this is the one with any device with a SIM card, so for example your phone or your iPad with cellular connectivity, this cup is quite small and it costs a lot to upgrade it to a bigger cup or upgrade your data. On the other hand, with your home Wi-Fi, you get a much larger cup or even a bucket, and it costs you a lot less to upgrade that bucket to a bigger size bucket. And some buckets might even be bottomless, and this is known as unlimited data. So, because your mobile data provider has to provide this connection to you wherever you go, as well as to millions of other people at the same time, they can charge a lot more for this service, and that's why it's more expensive. On the other hand, your home broadband provider, it's a lot easier to provide you with this connection because you've already got a phone line or internet connection to your house, so this makes it a lot cheaper. So let's say you watch 10 YouTube videos a month. This might use 1 gigabyte of data. So, your mobile broadband provider can provide this 1 gigabyte to you for $20 a month. But for that same $20, your home broadband provider can give you 100 gigabytes, which is 100 times the amount of YouTube videos you can watch. But you can only watch these videos in your house, whereas your mobile data provider lets you watch these videos anywhere you go. So for example, on a train, in a long car ride, or even at the shops. At some point in the future, the cost per gigabyte for mobile data will come down a lot, and it might even make sense to only have mobile data and not even worry about a home broadband connection. But we're a long way off that point now. There's also the argument around speed. Whereas home Wi-Fi traditionally was a lot quicker than mobile data, well, now we're really reaching a kind of equality with those two technologies, and the difference in speed is really very minimal between mobile data and home Wi-Fi's. So thanks for watching this technologetic video about Wi-Fi versus mobile data. Hopefully that little cups analogy helped you out with your understanding of the concepts, and you know when to use these two different technologies in different situations.
Thank you all so much for watching both of these videos. Again, what I will say, yes, now we have 5G data, and yes, it is a little, less expensive than maybe before. This video is about 5, 6 years old for mobile cellular data. So there really is kind of mostly inequalities. Still, Wi-Fi is a little bit, more consistent, more stronger than data, but data has really come afar. I'm able to, with just my connection. On my phone, I love just being able to utilize and play games and watch videos, wherever I'm at because of, my service. So, it's a great, both are great. If you can have both, then wonderful. You get the best of both worlds. Hopefully that video also helps out as well. Okay. Thank you all so much. So at this point, we're going to be talking about Wi-Fi and cellular apps. But I hope, again, these two videos were helpful. So please raise your hand. I just want to see kind of where we're at. Please raise your hand if you have Wi-Fi in your home and you've connected it to your iPad. So you're using the Wi-Fi connection on your iPad. Right now, you all may not be home or, at your router, et cetera. But if you're, have access in your home to Wi-Fi and it's connected to your iPad, please raise your hand in Zoom. We have about almost 40 folks on today, so I really want to see where everyone is at. Again, if you have Wi-Fi in your home and you've connected to it to your iPad, please raise your hand in Zoom. Okay. Thank you. We have 16 hands. Love it. Again, if you have Wi-Fi in your home and you've connected it to your iPad, you are, you're good to go. Like you're good, with, what we're going to talk about today. So again, if you have Wi-Fi in your home and you've connected it to your iPad, again, you may not be home right now. You may not be next to it right now, but if you have, please raise your hand in Zoom. Okay, seeing about 17 hands. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was just, again, giving folks a minute just to be able to respond. I saw about 20, 21 hands. So about half of you, which I really appreciate. But for those that did not raise their hands, really take notes. I really want you to pay attention and see all the different options that you have available. But thank you so much, you all. You all can hit lower at the bottom to lower your hand. But for those that did not raise their hand, please make sure you follow along, okay? So as a reminder for us, in our program, all cellular data plans on iPads provided by our program will be discontinued on September 30th, 2024. If you do not have Wi-Fi access in your home, if you're mostly home, etc., you will not be able to access the internet on your iPad after September 30th of this year. So, not being able to get on, Zoom or access, the internet, Safari, your browser, many different things. So this is very, very important that we're talking about this. The cancellation of the data plans is due to DC government no longer having a federal subsidy for the service. Again, we'll be talking more about this at 1:30. But DC is working with the federal government to get a free replacement service, but that's not guaranteed. It could take a while, and we're not going to depend on that. So again, just these things to keep in mind. So we have literally a week, right? A week from today. So if you do not have Wi-Fi in your home, I would definitely keep these next tips in mind, okay? I have two websites for you all. So, there's a couple of options. I'll go over a little bit, again, towards the end of different options. But even if you have Wi-Fi in your home, you may still want a cell plan for your iPad, right? Like the video mentioned, if you still want to use it outside of your home, mostly, again, just on its, using the iPad itself, you'll need that cellular data plan. So, but I have two links for you all. So it's kind of goes, hand in hand. So this is the first one. This is called the FCC broadband map. So again, I highly recommend you hold the links in the chat, copy it, and paste it wherever you can access it, notes, etc. This is the FCC National Broadband Map. I'm going to copy the link and paste it as soon as I'm done going over this website that you can take advantage of, okay? This is the Broadband Map FCC website. So I'm going to hit location. Okay, you'll see why we do that in a second. I'm going to hit location. And look, it says enter address right here in this section. So I'm going to type in a random address. So I've just been using this, just testing this website out. 1300 H Street Northeast. You type in your address or any address, right? And I can see here on 13th and H, I can see the fixed broadband that's available. So basically Wi-Fi connections. And you can see like the different speeds and some other information as well. So here I see all of these different ones. I am veering towards maybe Xfinity, Verizon, Starry. You can see their different respective speeds here as well. So I definitely would check it out. But there are also some other ones that maybe you can take advantage of. T-Mobile, there's Verizon as well. So here, whatever website that you type in, whatever address that you type in, you'll see the different fixed broadbands and different mobile broadband. So like the cellular that's available and in that specific area. So here I see AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon. So it gives you some options. So, if you're looking for a Wi-Fi connection or if you're looking for a cellular data plan for your iPad or other device, this is a great website to utilize, okay? You type in the address, you see the different providers, and you can see their information. So once you do that, again, I am going to go to this to the chat, okay, and post this link. So this is like the first thing that you do. Again, just looking at your different options. Please thank Lou for the information. He was able to provide these different websites, but that is the first one, okay? All right, and then when I go to the next link, this is a website called digitalinclusion.org. And basically this is because of the end of the ACP program, the monthly subsidy to help reduce costs of internet service for qualifying households is no longer available. However, some internet service providers continue to offer low-cost internet plans, which are listed in the table below. We will continue to update the plans on this page as information is made available, but you should contact your internet service provider for detailed information, okay? So again, I'm looking down here. So after you go to the first website, you see what options are available in your area, go right here and you can see the different plans, you can see the monthly service costs, and keep in mind, it could even, potentially be even lower than what you see. But I can see some, options, some very common ones and some that may not be so common. But I see here, Internet Essentials, Xfinity, $9.95 a month. pretty good, right? But there's also Internet Essentials Plus. If you want a little bit of a better service, better speeds, that's $29.95 a month. I see it's not listed here, but T-Mobile, again, deal right now, $30 a month for their internet capabilities as well. Verizon has some different options as well. And if you take advantage of different government benefits, it may even be lower than you see the listed price here as well. So you can see just some different options. Like if I go into Verizon, I can see some more information right here. So if you're on Life, if you're on Snap, WIC, different benefit programs, each provider is going to be a little different. So I can see that information here. So once you kind of see what's available and what's the cost, then there are some different options that you can honestly go through. Let me copy the link for this, I apologize, and post it into the Zoom chat. But that is just one way you can see what options you may have. Type your address in to the FCC broadband map and see what options you have. And then go to this link right here and you can see like information about the cost, different options available. Of course, it's not a whole entire comprehensive list. There are some other options available, but I think it's pretty good just being able to start out, okay? So I'm gonna hit paste. So that is the first link is right here. Takes me straight to the broadband map, okay? And then I can go from there. So, and then if I tap on the other link, let's see. Yeah, it takes you straight to the digital inclusion website as well. So please utilize and save those different links so you can see, again, what different options that you may have, okay? Besides that, just getting my session back up, thank you. Again, it was really nice to see that basically a little more than half of you have access to different Wi-Fi, which is great. So again, while I get this back up, give me a moment. Thank you for your patience, you all. Again, any questions, any comments, please share in the Zoom chat while I get my session back up. Give me a moment. Appreciate your patience, you all. Please put any questions or comments in the chat as well. We're almost done. See, thank you for your patience. Any questions? Okay. Appreciate it, you all. Again, those are two links that you can just see what options that you may have. There may be some additional options, but just please keep that in mind. So in regards to Wi-Fi, these are just some recommendations. Again, just utilizing the actual app so you can get access to the Wi-Fi or just at least see what options you may have. Of course, for anything that we talk about, you can Google. You don't have to download that particular app. If you just want to know some information, or just go to Safari, and I would definitely Google it and see what options that you have. But what I'm, thinking of for some apps that are very commonly used in different services as well. You have the Xfinity app, you have the T-Mobile app, you have the Verizon app, and Starry for Wi-Fi. Again, those are some of the most common ones here. Again, refer back to the website for any additional options. But those are some providers and apps that you can take advantage of, right? So, if you wanted the internet essentials, I would check out Verizon. Maybe Google them and maybe make a call to customer service. Same thing with the other ones like Starry, T-Mobile, Xfinity. Those are some commonly used providers for Wi-Fi, but there also can be cellular providers as well, like T-Mobile. T-Mobile offers home Wi-Fi and cellular data plans. Same thing for Xfinity, etc. Okay. I see a suggestion in the chat. I love it. Thank you for that. Again, just seeing, different areas going to have different capabilities for what providers are there, but that's a great suggestion. So thank you so much for that. And there's also a question, how do you qualify? So, each provider is going to be different. So for those specific discounts, so I don't think it's really income based for many of them or most of them. It's just depending on if you take advantage of different benefits. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. But each one's going to be different, so you got to really, do your research and make the call if you need to see what options or what things that they may have. Okay, same idea with cellular data. Again, if you want a cellular data plan for your iPad, if you need it because you may not utilize Wi-Fi, or if you want it, just to be able to use outside of your home, if you're outside a lot, if you're out of your home a lot, doing different things, it may be nice to have a cell plan as well, even if you have Wi-Fi. But if you do not have Wi-Fi, then I really highly recommend you either get that Wi-Fi and use your iPad within your home, or get that cellular data. It just really depends on your person. Everyone's going to be different, right? Okay, so AT&T, T-Mobile, Xfinity, Verizon, Boost, different cell phone providers, most of them provide a cell plan for the iPad. So it's a little, again, it's a little bit different with the different providers, but it's again all about, doing, your search on the internet, downloading that particular app, and just seeing what options that you may have. So the answer is no, you do not need both. For the question in the chat, again, you can have both. Again, I utilize both when I'm home, office, etc. I utilize the Wi-Fi. When I'm out and about, I utilize the cellular data. Okay, so if you have both, you can use the iPad in both situations. And everyone's different. Again, if you're home most of the time, if you had to choose one or the other, I would choose the Wi-Fi. If you're out and about a lot versus being home, then maybe I would get that cellular data. Because even when you're home, you can use the cellular data. I mean, that's what you all have been doing for utilizing the the internet on your iPad as well. So same, even solely using the cellular data on the device, for the time that you've had it. So it's really up to you. I recommend both, but if you see where you're at, if you want Wi-Fi or data, or if you want both. Okay, so I hope that helps out with Wi-Fi and cellular data apps. So again, just some options. Again, we're going to share this in an email later on today. But here are some options that you can, just think about for, in regards to accessing the internet on your iPad. Find and purchase a cellular data plan for your iPad from your cell phone provider. Okay. So again, that's if you want it, if you already have Wi-Fi, if you want it to be able to use outside of your home, etc., and in your home for that particular connection, great. But if you need it, if you do not have Wi-Fi and you only want cellular data, then here, T-Mobile, Boost Mobile, Verizon, many of them offer iPad cellular data plans, of course. And or number two is finding and purchasing a Wi-Fi plan from a provider. So you could do one and two, right? Or you could do one or the other, depending on if you have Wi-Fi or not. So for the folks that did not raise their hand, I would, again, seriously consider getting that cell plan or that Wi-Fi plan or both. Again, everyone's going to be at a different spot, so you really got to keep that in mind. But if you want to access the internet on your device after September 30th, you must either have Wi-Fi or cellular data set up on your device, okay, okay? And last but not least, which, I don't recommend long-term, but utilizing a personal hotspot from your phone or other device, you may have a limit on how much data you are able to use on the device with that hotspot connection. So again, my cell phone provider, I have a personal hotspot on my phone that I can connect my iPad to, right? But each plan is going to be different, and in regards to the amount of data that you can utilize on that hotspot, right? So I really would check with your cell phone provider if you have one, or even just going on your device, right? Like for Android devices, it may be a little different of a process, but on my iPhone, I go to settings and I can see that I have a personal hotspot that I can, again, share or utilize with others, right? So, but I wouldn't do that like for the whole month, right? That's a lot of data. And most plans, I pay, myself for a premium plan with, quite a bit of hotspot data, but that's not going to be the everyday person to have that amount, for that hotspot data. So you may be able to go, with some time, but especially if you are on Zoom, if you do watch, videos on your device, then I wouldn't say that's a long-term solution. Okay, so I see another chat, consumer cellular. I'm not sure if they have iPad plans, but that's all you do is you go to Safari and you can search for the different plans. So it doesn't look like it's no. Again, if I go to Safari and maybe I literally type in like consumer cellular, you can be really specific if you want. iPad plans. And it's okay if you misspell it just a little bit, it'll figure it out. But again, I go to there, there's consumer cellular, there's cell phone plans. So it just depends. I see here this, the Apple Support Community website says it doesn't appear that iPads are listed on the websites under plans or products and services. So not sure. Again, that's changed. That's about 2.5 years ago. So it's all about going on to that particular website and making a call if needed, etc. Just to be able to go to that website and see what plans we have. But if it's a cell plan, then it's most likely you're able to connect it to your iPad via eSIM or a physical SIM card, but mostly by eSIM. So again, literally Google, like if you're saying, does this provider have a plan available? So again, it's a cell plan basically on your device, right? It's really no different from the cell plan on my phone versus the iPad. So again, if you have a cell phone provider, call them first. Add it to your plans. You may get a discount or maybe a little cheaper than getting a whole new provider. So I have T-Mobile. If I ever wanted a cell plan for my iPad, I would be like, hey, T-Mobile, can or call them or use the app, etc., and see what options that I may have. Okay. So yeah, Google is your friend. I hope the resources were also helpful today. And being able just to think about, your connections. So for the folks that raise their hands, great. Check to see if you want a cell plan on your iPad and go from there. But let's see, will the apps be downloaded? No, so it doesn't discontinue those apps. Your apps are your apps. Just because the data is ending doesn't affect, your actual iPad. So I hope that, helped out. I think you may be overthinking that a little bit, but again, once you download the apps, it's yours. The iPad is yours. You have your own Wi-Fi. Then make sure, of course, you're connected to your Wi-Fi if you have Wi-Fi. But no, they won't discontinue. They're your apps. You downloaded them, etc., or we downloaded them. But those are just apps. It doesn't really have anything to do with the service. So I hope that was helpful. But thank you. But again, today we went over just some history of Wi-Fi, the differences between the two. We also went over just our reminder of what's going on next Monday in regards to cellular data. I provided 2 different links, one to see what providers you have available in your area and some of the basic costs of those different providers and those specific plans. But you can use these resources. You can just call or hit up your cell phone provider if you want cellular data. You can, again, if you want Wi-Fi, you have those different options. I recommend Xfinity, T-Mobile. Those 2 are very promising, but it just depends on your area. Someone suggested Astound. So I've heard of that before, but don't know too much about it myself. But some great suggestions, so I really appreciate that. We also went over some apps, some different providers that you can utilize to get internet on your device, and some different options. Again, just, trying to logically think of what you need to do depending on where you're at. If you have Wi-Fi, wonderful. You won't be, you'll be guaranteed to, of course, have connection. So you can still continue to attend Zoom and access the internet on your device. But if you want a plan, those are some different options. If you do not have Wi-Fi in your home, then I highly recommend you check out that cell plan or, finding that Wi-Fi or both. So that way, again, you can still access your iPad, the internet from your home, from out and about. So it's really all just seeing what options that you have because everyone's a little different. And in the meantime, maybe utilizing your personal hotspot from your device. So that way, again, you can stay connected on your iPad, okay? So, again, I know today I said it was going to be a little short, but again, just really, going into the point, we want as many folks to still be able to access our sessions, our community, our information, our guests and presenters. So it was really important for us to do this session today. So it was so nice to see so many faces on. And again, please let your iPad friends know, but we will also be sharing an email later on today and be talking more about this at 1:30 today. So any questions about anything we covered today? Any questions about service? Anything you want me to go over? Please raise your hand in Zoom. This is a great time to ask, and especially for those that do not raise their hands in the beginning. Hopefully, again, you do have Wi-Fi in your home, but if you don't, I highly recommend you check out these different options, okay? So please raise your hand if you have any questions. First up is Anne. How is it going? Thanks so much for joining us.
It's going, Alex. Two questions. If you don't have the cellular, that won't affect us getting on if we have Wi-Fi, right?
No, I mean, it's so Wi-Fi and cellular, either one, you can access the internet. So one does not affect the other. As long as you have either Wi-Fi and or cellular data, you're able to access the internet on your iPad again. If I did not have Wi-Fi myself, what I would be doing is checking out different cell plans maybe, and or different Wi-Fi plans maybe. I may want both. I may want one or the other, but you must have either or to access the internet. So if you have Wi-Fi in your home, and make sure, of course, you're connected to it, especially utilize it. So that way, when the cellular data ends, you'll still be able to access the internet from your home using your Wi-Fi.
Okay, because I have both on my iPad right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's really important to make sure that when you go to, I didn't get a chance to do this, but when you go to settings on your device, make sure that on the left-hand side, the Wi-Fi doesn't say not connected. It says you're connected to whatever network you're connected to. So,
okay.
For me, I'm connected to my network, so I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, for me. And then for cellular data, I'm not sure what it will say after September 30th, so I'll be able to see, but you may even be able to see what options you may have from hitting cellular data, but I won't be 100% sure until after that date. So I'll be able to see what goes on in that section. So that's why I wanted to provide the two websites and the general information for those providers.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, and I wanted to ask you something that's not quite about iPad storage. I wanted to purchase some more, but I wasn't sure that if I used the iPad storage thing to connect to buy more, or what to do. I kind of forgot what to do with that.
Okay, yes, well, I'm already here, Anne, so that's okay. So again, you're not purchasing more storage for the iPad. The actual iPad itself has a storage of when you receive it. So this is a 64 gigabyte iPad. So you're not purchasing more storage for the iPad per se. You're purchasing the iCloud subscription plus subscription, so you can store more info in the cloud. So things like photos, videos. So yes, I know when you did when we all did our iPad update or upgrade for iPad OS 18, I didn't have enough storage on my iPad, so I had to delete a couple of apps myself, and that way when I downloaded it.
Hello, Alex? I don't know if that's mine is frozen or you're frozen. Okay.
When I sorry about that. When I downloaded the update, I saw that my iPad storage went back down after deleting a couple of apps. But in regards to the iCloud Plus storage, if it's saying that you need more, then I highly recommend you start off with that dollar a month at 50 gigabytes. So that way you can store more photos, more videos, more app data, so it doesn't take up that storage on your iPad. So you understand what I'm saying? It's like you're not
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I know I'm a little dense some days, but I did get that. Thank you for your help, Alex.
No problem. Again, I know it can be a little confusing even for myself. So yes, you're not purchasing storage for the iPad. You're purchasing storage for the cloud service that you can utilize with your iPad to have you have more storage so you can have more apps, more things on your iPad than before.
Okay, sweetie. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem. And again, make sure your Wi-Fi and data is squared away. And thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it. Okay. Again, any other questions, please raise your hand in Zoom. Would love to answer as many questions as I can today, okay? Okay, thank you. Oops, sorry about that. All right, again, any other questions about Wi-Fi, cellular data, about what you can utilize, different providers? Again, I hope today's session was, encompassing different ideas and different things you can take advantage of. So please make sure that you do. So um, next up is Miss Dina. Hope you have a question or a comment for today.
I have a question, Alex.
Mhm.
I'd like to know for this service, the Wi-Fi, does someone have to come into your home to set it up?
Not all the time. That's a good question, Miss Dina. When I received my Wi-Fi services, I had the option to set it up myself, and
Okay.
but
And I was
but particularly in my home, I actually had an issue. So they actually had to come and fix kind of the problem from the previous tenant and for them to set it up. So it depends. So when you call them, and each provider is going to be different. Again, I utilize Xfinity, but it may be a little different for other providers. But it just depends on, if you have these certain, the cables in your home already, like this, kind of thicker white cable. Again, I'm not sure it's like the actual internet cable, but like in the video they were saying it's connected to some tower, some cable outside that goes into my home.
Right,
It
right.
it it really does depend. Like for some, all I had to do was literally like plug it in, literally just plug it in and it worked. But for other ones, you may need to utilize a certain cable in your home, etc. So the answer is maybe. It just depends on the different
It just
providers.
depends.
Yeah, and
Right,
how they have how they have their route, the router set up, right? It could just be a simple, just plug it into the wall, right? Or plug it into the plug. Or it could involve a little bit more like, attaching it to a cable in your home. So it really does depend. So I would definitely ask that, before they do, or if you call them or if you go on your app and you purchase it, when I purchased my connection, they were, explicit. Either you can do it yourself or they may have to come and you may be charged a fee. So when they do come set it up, so that may be a thing. So a little caveat. But a lot of the times, you're able to set it. If not, they can come and sometimes they even waive that fee because it's not entirely your fault. Like, in my case, that, the previous person did not correctly unset up their device, etc. So it really just depend on the provider and how they have it set up.
okay, thank you.
No problem, Dina. I hope that was helpful, and I hope
Yes,
we connected. Okay.
yeah,
All
thank,
right.
thank you.
Any other questions? Please raise your hand. Hi, Miss Mandy. How are you doing today?
Hi, Alex. Just quick question. So is cellular like still on September 30 or is it off October 1? Like which day is it actually not available?
I asked myself that question this morning. It's maybe the first and maybe on the 30th. I'm not 100% sure. Um, I will be able to see because again we won't be having classes this Friday and this coming Monday. So by that Tuesday, I'll just be able to see what's going on more, especially in that cellular data section and settings. I'm not sure if that, verbiage will change or if that screen will change as well. So I'll be able to see that when it does hit October 1st, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
No problem, Manny. Have a great rest of your
You
day.
too.
Any other questions? But again, here are just some different options you can take advantage of. Hi Denise, how's it going? Question or comment for
I
today?
did good.
Mm-hmm.
When I have Affinity, and when I first got it, they were asking me, trying to help me with my payment. How many devices in my home do I have, and how many people, that uses it? And I had my grandson, I had my granddaughter, my daughter, me, so it's quite a few devices being used. So they had to pick a plan, you know, that'll work for me and the speed that I probably need. Because, sometimes if I had a lower speed or whatever with my modem, it would be if it go over, they would charge me extra money because I done went over my, speed that I had purchased. So they found a plan that would work for me because I had so many devices that was used in the house. Now, if it's only just you, you wouldn't need that much. But if you have, a couple of people in your home, you would need a plan that will work for you so you won't be paying more money out your pocket for going over your data.
Right. So
That's
are you talking, is it okay, so is it a actual Wi-Fi connection or is it a 5G connection router in your home? So I know you said
um,
you
I
said you have
have that. I
right?
have the modem box, the black box, but I forgot what it was, Alex. What plan they got me on, but I paid way more money than $9.95. And then I had my house phone hooked up to it, but I'm planning on taking that off to lower my, But
Yeah.
if
So
I get that, say if I get the $9.95 plan, I'll be paying more money because the devices that's in the home that we are using, I would go over whatever they offer because I don't think they offer much with $9.95.
well, I mean,
The
it just
gigabytes.
depends on what you're, on what you're taking advantage of, Denise. It does depend on the plan when you do see the different options. I mean, with whether it's a lower cost option, or maybe a higher cost option. It's just seeing like thinking about what, goes on kind of in your home, right? Because I mean, for myself, I'm I don't utilize that particular plan. But I have, quite a bit of devices in my home. So, I'm still able to, connect and be able to, have high speeds, things of that nature. It just really just depends on like kind of what they're doing. If there's, even though there's not multiple people here, it's just
Right,
multiple different devices. So it's really all about what you're doing on your device. When it comes to Wi-Fi, honestly, I picked a plan and, I know my speeds, etc. But I've never been like, had a fee or anything in regards to over usage. It's really just, again, when you do select that plan, and I highly recommend you take a look at it for the specifics in regards to data usage, how much data you have. If it's unlimited, and I haven't really had a challenge with that aspect of Wi-Fi, so I would just take a double look at the plan, at the paperwork, etc., and just seeing, if you want to go try that essentials or another provider per se. So I would definitely try to check out that information to make sure you have your ducks in a row and you know what you have, so you can know if you
so
use
not
it.
being nosy and what you do, but the payment you pay, you don't pay $9.95, right?
Yeah, yes. Again, I mentioned I do not, utilize that
Right,
particular
exactly.
plan. So
I because I used to have a plan, like I said, and it was much lower, but my bill would be higher than what I supposed to pay. And I was asking them what is going on. They say because you must have a lot of devices that being used, and you going over your data that that you're paying for. Yeah, and I say really.
I,
So
I would
that's
I would
when they
double
say
check
let
that
me work
paperwork.
with you, huh?
Yeah, I would double check that paperwork so you can exactly see, what's going on in regards to your plan. Because again, it's just for me, it is sounding like that. It just really look at that paperwork and see the
Right, because
I
see,
can,
you just
I
one
can't,
person.
yeah,
Right, you just one
yeah,
person, but in the home, if you have more than one person in the home and they got all these just different devices, and you know, you're gonna have to pay more than 9.95, or you know what I'm
it
saying?
depends on what they're
They,
doing on the device. You could have 100 devices and still use that. It's just what they're
yeah,
doing. So again, I cannot speak on it because I don't have it in front of me.
right.
And, you know, I'm not saying the same thing for yourself, but I would
I
definitely
would
check
love to
out.
have the 9.95
Yeah,
plan.
just but check out what you have now so you can kind of,
I
see what you
can't.
need to do. Okay.
Yeah, but it just won't give me enough speed. 9.95.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
know.
It's
So
all about just seeing what works for each person.
right. I just wanted to say that in case when people start
Yep.
looking and searching, you gotta read and make sure, or ask them
Yeah,
to work with you, you
of
know.
course. But just like everything in the life, you got to make sure you know what you're getting, right?
Right. Exactly. Thank you for letting me share that.
Thank you so much, Denise. Have a
Just
great
me.
rest of your day.
You too.
Yep, we're running a little low on time, but again, thank you so much for your questions and comments. While I see we have 3 hands, let's just try to keep the time in mind. Let's see. Louise, you had a question or a comment for today?
Yeah, I just want to say if we have the Wi-Fi already, the files, we don't need to do anything, right?
Well, again, you need to make sure you're connected to it, of course, on your device. But once it is, yes, you are, good to go with staying connected. But if you
Yeah.
want to utilize your iPad outside of your home Wi-Fi network, like out and about, again, you can either purchase that cell plan for the
Mhm,
iPad so you can, utilize the Wi-Fi when you're home and the data
mhm,
when you're out and about.
mhm,
But if you may not want to do that, but I highly recommend it. They're not that, they're pretty inexpensive for a cell
mhm,
plan, in that regards. But you may want to, if you have, a phone or device with the hotspot, you can also connect to it when you're out and about. So when I'm out and about and I bring my laptop with me, my laptop doesn't have a cell plan. So I use my phone as a hotspot so that way I can still connect to the internet, do
mhm,
certain things when I'm out and about on my device. So that's
mhm,
just one idea of using a hotspot. But yes, if you want to purchase that plan, that cell plan, great. If not, then you'll just be able to use the iPad around your Wi-Fi networks.
mhm. Because right now it's hooked up to my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so that's great, especially if you're paying for it, if utilizing it, I'm using everything with my Wi-Fi in
Yeah.
my home because I'm, paying for it, I'm utilizing it. So yes, it's good that you're connected. So you're good to go in regards
Mhm.
to staying connected. But if you want to use it outside of your home, try that cell plan or that personal hotspot option as well.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, Louise. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Hey Greer, how's it going? Thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Question or comment for today?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Alex and all. I just wanted to share that I do have the Infinity Essential,
Mm-hmm.
and I have it's just me in the house, but I have several devices, and it takes care of all the devices that I have. I have two big screen TVs, a desktop, a laptop, three three iPads. Um, all of them are not in use. And I was wondering while I'm at it, it just dawned on me. I had another cracked screen, real old iPad, and I got another one for my birthday that I didn't want to use with this particular class. But is it possible for you to go over how you transfer from one iPad to the other? Will that ever come up? Because
Well, what do you mean by transfer, Greer?
I have a new I have a new one that I had gotten for my birthday last year, and I had an old iPad that the screen is really cracked, and I wanted to transfer the information that I have on my personal iPad that's separate and apart from uh from the class here, the Zoom class iPad.
I
I want
will, okay, well, I mean, this, when you say Zoom, I mean, you can use your iPad for, I mean, anything. I mean,
Alex, we were
regards to
talking
the
about,
different,
you were just talking about storage. I have an iPad that I've had since my grandson was about 8 months old. He's 14 now. I have pictures and all that from way back when, and I want to transfer all of that information over to the new iPad that I have. And I was just wondering if it was a possibility that, or you could tell me where I could go to transfer that information from my old iPad to my current one, my new one, because all it comes
yes.
hello, hello, and then all these other different languages, and I'm afraid to do anything with it because I don't. Number one, I don't want to get the wrong language, but I just want to make certain that I get all my information from my old iPad onto the new one because this screen is really messed up.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, yes, Greer. I got you. Okay. So again, really just from that old iPad again, when you get a new iPad, we talk about this in our iPad update and our backup session. So I would definitely try to check out that video. But if you want to restore or I guess grab those pictures, well, one you have to think, did that old iPad where you connect to iCloud, where they stored up in iCloud for those particular photos, videos, etc. So of course I cannot answer that. And um, when you set up the new iPad, there's a part where it says restore from iCloud backup. So which I mean you can try is if you know the Apple ID information from your um, from the cracked iPad, then you're able to log in with that same Apple ID and see if it backs up that information. Again, because that screen is cracked, I'm assuming you cannot particularly access it.
no,
So
I really can't. I can do that.
yeah, and as long as if you hit it just depends if the cracked iPad has again the information in iCloud and you're able to send it over. I am not 100% sure of that particular method. That's just what I think from the backup, but it just really depends if it did that. So if you are able to get into the cracked iPad and make sure that, everything is in iCloud, etc. Once you sign in to the new iPad, that information will transfer over whatever is in iCloud. That's just what I think at the top of my head. I'm not sure if Apple would have a better solution. So I would also maybe, if you still want a second opinion, which is definitely nothing wrong with that, I would contact Apple customer service and see what they say if you want a second opinion. So I'm going to put that, this is Apple's general number, and you can all contact them for anything. But I would also just see if you want a second opinion through their website or their line. Okay.
Okay, but that 9.95. Thank you, Alex. That 9.95 essential it works with
Yeah.
all my that I do have here in the household.
Yep, it's all about checking out your plan, using your apps, you just seeing, where you're at in regards to, just like with myself, when I check on my bill, etc., see how much you use, same thing for the Wi-Fi. So it's just all about making sure you have your paperwork, you read through, and you know what you get, and.
Okay, thank you, Alex.
No problem, Greer. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Mhm. And our last hand for now, thank you, that was helpful, is Geraldine. Hey, Geraldine, how's it
Hey,
going?
hey, Alex. I just wanted to comment and say thank you for this presentation today. It was so timely in view of what we have to do with our iPads and so forth. So thank you so much for this timely presentation.
I really appreciate that, Geraldine. It's been a little bit of a time crunch lately, as with our staffing and such. It's we really wanted to make sure that, you all are prepared and, if you could have done this any sooner, we would have, but we wanted to, you know, to make sure you have the information. I wanted to have the information so that way I can at least provide you all with some things that you can do, some options that you have versus waiting until, you know, the very last minute. So I really appreciate that, Geraldine, and it's you know, keeps me going.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem, Geraldine. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
And I do see we have another hand, so I don't mind answering, but we must go very, very soon. So yeah, Miss Eddie, hope you're well. You have a question or comment for today?
Yes, thanks, Alex. It's been a long time since I've been on, but I'm having problems with my backdrop. And would you help me with that?
So Miss, if you're talking about your background on Zoom, I
Yes.
really highly recommend you check out Module 6 on our channel. That way you can go through, but just by hitting, if you see at the top, you hit more and then backgrounds and effects, you'll be able to add an image from your iPad or use the background that you already have. So just about hitting more and then backgrounds and effects, but I would also really check out Module 6 on our channel as well if you want more of a in-depth tutorial, okay?
Okay.
Yep, I really would appreciate that. Module 6, or just again by hitting more at the top right, then backgrounds and effects, you should be able
I
to add
I just
and add that photo to your background, okay?
I just hit the edit. I hit face.
Yeah,
It's
so
only
I would definitely try to check that out and see if you can get that up, okay?
this has happened to me before.
Yeah, so it's all about seeing this. I cannot particularly help with that right now, but again, module 6 and again checking out our help desk as well. Okay, either way, our channel and our help desk. Okay, I really would appreciate that, Miss Eddie.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, man. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, bye-bye.
Yep, yep, yep. Thank you. Okay, and I really appreciate you all coming on today. And just kind of like throughout, you know, this week, we just want to get your thoughts. So, you know, you are free to go. But I do have a question for you all, because this is technically our last advanced training for the fiscal year. So I really want to get some quick ideas from you all before we end on just what topics are you interested in us going over in our advanced training session. So maybe something that you liked that you may want us to go over again. We've covered many different topics. I mean, even if I go through my list, we covered all different kinds of apps, different iPad concepts, like upgrading your iPad, backing it up, different things regarding the keyboard, different apps, different topics. We cover different holidays in our sessions and what apps you can use for those holidays, what's going on for the month. We covered everything from apps for fruit to um, everything from, I mean, it's amazing what we've covered this past year in our advanced sessions. You've covered more than 100 apps together, etc. So really, again, what topics are you interested in us going over in our advanced training? If you could fill out that answer in that poll, would really love to just have your thoughts and be able to incorporate those into our advanced sessions for next year. So we still have advanced trainings for next year, but again, you'll learn more as you um, come on to our 1:30 p.m. session today. Okay. I am just looking at the poll. Again, once you hit submit, again, hopefully you all can see it and able to type in your response. Let me see, let me see. And give me a moment. Um, Again, what topics or topic are you interested in us going over in our advanced session? Please make sure you fill out the response. Again, I hopefully again you're all able to add your additions. You can also, if you want, put in the chat too. But really would like for you all to enter it in this poll. Again, once you type in your response, you can hit submit poll and you're able to participate and see what different information you want us to cover. Okay. Thank you. So we have a couple of responses so far. Yep, it's short. It's a short answer. Again, any topics, and then you can hit submit. Okay, so please make sure that you fill out the poll or fill out the response. Any topic or topics you're interested in us in going over, please raise your hand. I mean, sorry, not raise your hand. Sorry, please fill out the response in Zoom. Okay, what topic or topics are you interested in us going over in our advanced trainings? Besides that, you know, if once you fill it out, you are free to go. I really appreciate you all coming on. Today at 1:30, we have our special announcement with Lou with some other changes, some other additions to our program as well. And we also have our session tomorrow with Channel for our garden showcase. So I really look forward to that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, once you complete the poll, once you fill it out, you are free to go. Thank you so much. We're about a third of the way there. Thank you all so much. Again, any additions, any topics you want us to cover, please add it into the poll. But again, you are free to go once you do, okay? Again, where it says short answer, tap on that, type in your answer, and then you're again free to go, okay? Thank you all so much. I really appreciate you attending our session today.